Hey, besties! Welcome to episode 3. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about toxic people and their enablers. Let me just start off by saying toxic people are some miserable ass people, okay? And I cannot stand them because everything is a problem to them. Literally. They have a problem with everything, but accepting that they are the problem. They always want to point the finger and say you're the problem, but they never point the finger back at themselves to realize they are the problem. Even the people that enable their shitty behavior, they are also a part of the problem. Let me give you a prime example. My uncle is the most miserable old man you can think of. Okay? That man lives in a cave in the basement. And all he does is complain, mumble under his breath, and he throws rocks and hides his hand. He will stir up drama and say things and even make up lies about you to just to say that you're the problem. And then my family, on the other hand, will enable his behavior. They will always confront the person that he has the problem with, but never sit him down to say, okay, but do you realize that you are the problem? Do you realize that you are wrong? Nobody holds him accountable, and neither does he hold himself accountable. And he knows exactly what he's doing. And that is the problem about shitty people. They swear on life that they're good just because they do things for people, or they buy people's love, or they buy their way out into your loyalty. And it's scary to me because it's just like, why are you like that? Why do you even think that's okay and acceptable? Even the enablers, why do you think someone's behavior is acceptable? Like, that kind of behavior is acceptable? Like, is it because what, we're family? Is it because we're friends? Is it because of our relationship? Is it because, like, what is it really? Why you enable someone's behavior like that? You know? It doesn't make any sense to me. And it just boggles my mind sometimes because I just be like, do you see what's happening here? Or, like, am I crazy? You know? And they're also narcissists as well because they will tell everyone, they will go behind your back and tell everyone that you're the problem at home just to make themselves look good, like they never did anything wrong. And then they will have an excuse or make up excuses to why they did what they did to justify their behavior. And it's weird to me, but it's also very scary because I don't rock with that. I don't like that type of stuff either. And it's crazy because when you're surrounded and you grow up around people that are enablers, you become an enabler too. Because you're just so, that's what you know. And that's what you're used to. You know, for me at least, you think it's normal, you know? And when you realize being around mature people, healthy people, and you see that it's not normal, it opens your eyes, you know? When I started therapy, it really made me realize how toxic I was to myself, even with other people. Because a lot of the behaviors I have is from my past. And the things that I was doing, it was not healthy at all. I wasn't always this mature. I mean, I matured quickly from a young age, but I still had a lot of growing up to do, still do, and still have a lot of learning to do, you know? But at the time, I was immature and I wasn't even myself, you know? I was so busy people pleasing and still trying to figure it out. I lost my way, let's say that. When you go through so much, you never realize how you affect other people or how much of an impact you make on other people's lives just because of how you act. But the people around you even if they try to hold you accountable. Some people are just too ignorant to accept it. They don't want to hear that because they need a team on their side. They need people on their side, and that is what I hate. I cannot stand people like that because you always need your behavior to be justified. Why? Why do you feel like what you're doing is okay? It doesn't even make sense. I know a couple people who think what they're doing or what they're saying is right. Some people really think it's being a realist, but that is not it. I don't know what your problem is. I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know what demons you're facing, but take that shit somewhere else and leave it from around me. Because who wants to be around people that constantly always have something to say? They can say something about you, but you can't say anything about them because they're all so perfect. And it just doesn't make sense to me. And then people want to claim to be family. People want to claim to be your friend and claim something. But it's like, how could you claim to be that if you can do certain things to me and think it's okay and think it's appropriate? I think you're insane. I think you have lost your forsaken mind and you need help. You really need to get your shit together if you ask me, but people don't want to hear that. The truth isn't pretty. But I mean, if you're comfortable with the lie, have at it. I'm not going to trip about that. You know, it's a different level of insanity. And I don't know how people can be so comfortable just being miserable. What's wrong with being happy for once? What's wrong with smiling? What's wrong with joy? Why is your heart dark? It's not even pure at this point. It's just full of darkness. You're literally like a walking demon yourself. Literally. Toxic people, I don't even know if they even are aware that they're toxic. And even if they do, they're comfortable being just that because they like the attention that they get from it. And it's like, when are you going to grow up? You're literally a little person in an adult body that just can't get it together. And this is what creates people to not want to change because nobody is telling them, okay, but you're wrong. And even if they know they're wrong, that's when they want to feel like a victim because you're not on their side. And I really just have to think to myself, like, okay, you're not okay. This is a different level of crazy because you like being this way at this point. Nobody can tell you nothing. You don't want to hear nothing because you're that prideful. You're that prideful to not accept that you are a shitty person and your behavior sucks. I don't even understand. Once upon a time when I was in that position years ago when everything was just going on for me, I was toxic and I was hurting people, but not to that level. I was hurt and I was hurting other people. And when I started to grow up and I started to mature, that's when I realized that's not it. And like I said, talking to my therapist and giving her the background, even she said it herself. Really, a lot of the times it's trauma responses. But because we bury things so deep down inside and we don't talk about it, this is what happens. But if that's the case, what are you so mad at? If you even feel yourself that you need help, go get it. Why drag other people into it? Why drag other people into the war with yourself? You're actually ruining good people by doing that. And the good people are tired. They are tired. Because bad company corrupts good character. Okay? No matter how much you want to be around them and you love them. And so sometimes you have to leave people where they're at, and you have to really show them how stupid they're acting, how foolish they actually can be. I've already been there with my uncle already because I couldn't take it anymore. There was a time when we were going through something and he was being petty, so I took it up a notch. And he took the internet box, and I know his favorite thing is cooking, so I just took up and wrapped up all the pots because like I don't like to be fucked with, and I really don't know why you even tried me by taking up the internet box. Oh, because my aunt told you to. And you did just that because you knew that would mess me up because I use the internet all the time. And I ended up using most of my data that day. Man, I was mad as hell. And yes, I was petty for doing what I did, but I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad about it at all because this is the type of people you're around when they enable people's behavior. Just like that, you know? And then when things got too serious, that's when I took a step back. You get what I mean? But I just had to show him, like, I'm not the only one. You're not the only one that can be petty. I can be just as petty, but worse. Because people think they could play with you a certain way until you play back, and they don't like that. Because they think they can take it a step until you take it up a notch and you show them, like, I'm not the one to be fucked with. You know, and it's unfortunate that I did that to show him, but it's like I couldn't take the pokes anymore. I was really pushed to my limit where I said, nah, forget this. Like, I'm done sitting quiet. I'm done not saying anything and being non-confrontational. I can't do this anymore. I need to do something. I'm so used to letting people be comfortable, making myself uncomfortable. And that was it for me, you know? Sometimes you just got to show up and show out and show people that you are not one of them. Because they will continue to poke. And then when you decide to blow up or you do something back to them, that's when it's like you're the bad guy. But I don't mind being the bad guy in anyone's story. Because if you're a fucked up person, you just are a fucked up person, and that is just what it is. If you don't want to change, that is on you. It's no one's responsibility but your own. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know how to take accountability and you don't want to be responsible for your own actions, how could you even call yourself an adult? You're just an adult by age, by a number? That doesn't even mean anything. Because to me, you're still a little boy, you're still a little girl in an adult's body. That's immature. And when things don't go your way, or when people don't pick your side, you act like a child. And that's a child's response. That's how kids act when they don't get their way, when you don't listen to them. That's how much attention you want, and you want to live by so people stick around. That is a problem. You are the problem. Enablers are also a part of the problem. And it sucks because altogether this is what creates dysfunctional people. And this is why the dynamic is dysfunctional. Because of the people that you're around. Your environment is literally like a cancer. Whether it be friends, your relationships, your family, just anyone in total. That's why sometimes you can't even grow in the environment that made you sick. Because it's just such a strong negative force around you. And I'm sorry to the people that had to deal with it, had to live with it, or even been through it. Because this is the world today, and it hasn't gotten any better. I don't know what people are holding on to that makes them the person that they are, but maybe they're just not a good person. Because if they were, what happened to you to make you the way that you are? And if you're not, that means you'll never be a good person. What you allow is what will continue. So when you allow someone to continuously do something to you over and over and over, especially if you don't like it, if you don't nip it in the bud the first time, it's going to continue. And then eventually you will explode. And I don't understand how toxic people don't understand that people will walk away from you. Not everybody wants to tolerate that. Not everybody wants to deal with that nonsense. It's frustrating, it's annoying, and it's definitely a problem. You don't see it as a problem, but clearly you must be blind to what you're doing. But then again, you can't be, because everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody is very much capable of what they're doing. Because if you didn't know what you're doing, then that's a whole nother ball game. But as of right now, in this lifetime, we all are very capable of knowing what we're doing. So now I don't feel sorry for you. Because if you like it, I love it. But you're just not sitting at the table with me. You can stay over there, across the world, across the city, anywhere else but around me. As long as you're not in my way and I'm not in your way, I'm cool on you. I don't know why people just feel obligated, especially when they're family, especially when you've been friends for so long. They feel entitled because you have that bond or those ties. I mean, you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. Now that I'm grown, I know that I don't have to tolerate anything that I don't have to. I can walk away and I can stop speaking to you by any given means. Because as long as the respect is not there, we don't have to talk. And I really don't care about your existence. There's a lot of family members that I don't even talk to. So it does not bother me if you're one less person out of my life. Because if family was really family, trust me, there's a certain shit they wouldn't do. But people are human, and anyone will do anything to you. So when you think they won't do you like that because of the bond you have and how close you are, best believe they will do you like that. And I'm telling you, man, it will shock you. If you don't pay attention, you don't open your eyes the first time, you will get twined up. You will get caught up in their bullshit. And that's how everything just gets toxic. But hey, that's all for today, folks. Thank you so much for listening. Tune in for episode 4 next week. Let's get it. Like, comment, and subscribe to share your thoughts on this episode.